Hello everybody. Today we're talking about the wonders of webbing. Come and join us, Hampshire Outdoors and Survival. Let's get out of this jungle. Hi guys, and welcome to Hampshire Outdoors and Survival. Today we're out in the woods and we're talking about belt kit. So please join us for our video. Please like, subscribe, share. Join us on a Sunday evening for our Sunday social live stream. Come along, have a chat, let me know what you think about the kit. Okay, we're going to talk about the ins and outs of webbing, belt kits, where they come in, how they work, my thoughts and ideas. So belt order, where does it all come from? Okie doke. Well, it's a military idea. So the idea is a fighting man in a combat role could carry in a backpack all the stuff he doesn't need to fight. So that's your sleep system, sleeping bag, tentage, whatever you need in that. Okie doke. And then round yourself you carry the essentials. Now in the military that would be water, food, ammunition, possible a med pack, okay, and any other kit you might need for your role, so that it's carried low down on the body. It's carried on the hips, supported by a yoke, okay, and the yoke doesn't carry the entire weight. Your hips are here with the weight balanced on the hips, okay, so it keeps your centre of gravity quite low. The actual webbing is more designed to stop that dropping, especially if you're somebody like me, got a bit of a belly, where my hips are a bit narrower, so the belt wants to slide down. So it just acts as a support system, and it allows you to carry many pouches around your body, okay, in a manner that leaves your arms free, your hands free. It means you can pick things up, you can do things, you can maneuver. It makes maneuvering through tight environments a lot easier. If you're scrambling over rocks, it's a lot easier. It also means once you've set up your camp, if you move off to do something, have a bit of an explore, collect some firewood or whatever, you can carry your kit with you in an easy system, right? So if you then have an accident, you then have a fall, it's not an issue. Or if you're, say, up on the hills, you've built your camp, you then want to go and finish your climb to the peak, you want to have a look from up there, you can carry the kit with you that you would need if something went wrong, okay, in an easy manner. And it means that you're fully flexible, it doesn't get in the way. That's the idea of it. Okay, so we're going to go through the belt order kit and what I've put into this, and I've massively overloaded this one. Okay, personally half the stuff on here I wouldn't carry, but I wanted to load it up to give you an idea of how far you could go. Okay, and it's a purely individual thing. I'm looking forward to seeing other people's belt kits, how they would do it, what they would carry, and their reasoning behind it. Okay, so again, this isn't my personal belt order kit. This is something I've thrown together purely and simply to give you an idea of what you could do. Now, the rig I'm actually wearing is a homemade rig. So this yoke is off an Austrian Bergen. Okay, the straps on the back, they're off of a couple of little shoulder bag type packs. Okay, the belt itself is a French Army pistol belt. Okay, the pouches are just MOLLE pouches from all sorts of systems, and the great thing with MOLLE is you can hook it over a belt. It doesn't have to go into a MOLLE system. You can position it out where you want. So let's go over, light a fire, get comfy, and have a look at the kit. So before we get into it, let's really talk about the origins of webbing, belt order and so on. So belt order or yokes, carrying systems, this goes back to the Romans, right? The Roman legions, where every man was required to carry his kit and equipment and his personal gear with him, and he would carry it in a marching yoke. Okay, so this would be carried on his person, which meant he had his weapon with him, his shield, and all his personal items that he required, like his bedding and so on, in his marching order. And let's face it, the Romans marched everywhere. So that's the evolution, and then it came on through time. So the most basic system is obviously a belt, just an ordinary belt, on which you might carry your knife, you might have an extra pouch for your phone, you might have an extra pouch for a water bottle, maybe even a pouch for a med kit. That's the basics. Now, that's a brilliant system. Okay, recommend it to everybody. I like bulky pockets. I've got nice bulgy pockets so I can pack them full of stuff, but you don't want your clothes completely encumbered with gear, especially when you're traveling through rough terrain. You want your clothes to be loose and allow movement and allow airflow. So again, coming up to pouches on your belt, that might be your preferred method. Okay, quite often it's the way I'll go. If I'm just out for a little walk, I'll have a basic first aid pouch, my Leatherman mobile phone pouch. That's all I really need with me. If I'm going out to do something a bit more extreme, I might put an extra pouch on there. I might carry water with me if it's hot, it's in the summer. Okay, one of the problems I find being a little bit older and a little bit more rotund these days is the old body's a bit wider than the hips. So the more weight I put on my belt, the more it tends to pull my trousers down, which isn't a comfortable thing. Okay, so again, having that weight purely on your hips, especially if you're carrying 10-15 pounds in weight, can be a bit of a pain. Right, so by adding the yoke, you're supporting the system across the shoulders. Now, you don't want to be carrying all that weight on the shoulders. You don't want a loose belt when the whole thing's flopping around and the weight's pulling on your shoulders, because at the end of the day that's uncomfortable. But you split the weight and the load between the shoulders and the hips. The hips are carrying a majority of the weight. All you really want for the yoke is it to hold things in place. It's to keep that weight up. Okay, keep it where you want it, where you need it. And by carrying the weight over your hips, it gives you a better center of gravity. It gives you the ability to move and to maneuver around. The other thing is, you'll carry the essentials and the weight on that yoke, which allows you to have in your backpack, and it allows a smaller backpack, but allows you, as I've got in this one today, I've got a bivy bag, I've got a hammock, I've got a tarp, and I've got a sleeping bag in that. So if I was coming up here for a weekend in the woods, hunting, shooting, fishing, climbing, exploring, bushcrafting, I can come up, take the pack off, set my base camp up how I need it, keep the webbing on me, and I've got a knife with me, I've got some string with me, I've got my first aid kit with me, I've got some water with me, I've got water purification with me, I've got some food with me, I've got it in there. I can then shrink that down. I can say, well, I'm staying in a 6-acre woods, I don't need to carry the food with me. I can empty that pouch out, put it to one side, or unclip it, put that to one side. That's my food admin bag with my cook set in it. But I want to keep some water with me because I'm going to be quite physical. I want to keep the knife with me. I definitely want to keep the first aid kit with me, and I might want to just keep some nibbles with me, or my possibles bag with me, so they can stay on the webbing. So the webbing can be adjusted as you go, day by day, as you move and as you're doing things. If I was up on the hills and I'm looking at leaving my base camp and say hiking to the top of the mountain to get a few shots and a few views, I'd look at my webbing and I'd say to myself, right, emergency shelter, first aid kit, fire lighting system, small lightweight brew up system, some spare food, water, brew kits, okay, and any other emergency items I might need. And I can put it down on that kit and load up down here, which makes it a lot easier to scramble manoeuvre. I'm not carrying weight up on my shoulders, which could possibly overbalance me or pull me off. It allows me more movement. So what I'm looking at in the future is civilianising the kit, using pouches in civilian colours. Okay, now bear in mind that I'm going to be using this as a hiking, camping kit. I want fairly drab colours, but I want them to be obviously civilian. So it might be plain green, it might be plain brown. might be a different coloured yoke. I've already got a red first aid pouch in there. Planes, you all know my issues. We'll wait for him to go. He's revving it up as he goes. He knows I'm here, he's seen the videos. He's revving it up on purpose. I'm starting to take it a bit personal. No, so yeah, the pouches on there could be in colours that are a little bit more civilian, a little bit less tactical maybe. Or if you are looking at building it to be tactical, you may be living somewhere where you really want to blend in. You may be a hunter, okay, so you want to blend into that environment. You might be doing wildlife photography. Again, you're going to rely on that camouflage to blend you in. Not the sort of thing you want to walk up the high street in, okay, but again, you've got to think about all these options and so on. It's the same as carrying knives on the webbing, okay? So when I'm in here, yes, I'm carrying knives on the webbing. When I move out of the woods and I'm going home, webbing comes off, goes in the back of the car. It's not an issue. I can get home, hang it up, and everything's there in all the pouches. Okay, so let's get a brew on, shall we? And we'll have a natter about these sorts of things, and I'll show you the webbing itself. Okay, so let's go through it, and like I say, this is just a basic setup. You can adapt this to whatever you want. I'm not saying this is what you have to carry or what you need. This is just to give you some ideas of where you can go with this sort of system. So, sustenance pack, a couple of bungees wrapped around it, poncho, keeps me waterproof, keeps me dry, can rig a shelter if I needed to. Right, here we have the Osprey. Okay, so we have the Osprey here. As you can see, what I've done, I've got an elastic round it. It keeps all these in place, keeps it all together. Inside the Osprey, there's water purification. So water purification, essential if you're getting out into the wilds. And don't forget to take the cleaning kit with you. Okay, if you're going to be out for any length of time, that will be helpful. And in there, I've just got the Sawyer Mini. Okay, that's all I need. That, the filtration bag, nice, light, no nonsense, all wraps up together, all stuff's inside my Osprey. Now, I put the elastic round there purely and simply because it makes it easier to carry. And as you see, I've got a meth stove in there. Okay, so I've got an essential cook system. I've got a cup with me, got everything I need there. Light, simple, efficient. What more do you want? Put that in there with filtration. So that's covered shelter, water, cook. Bit of fat wood chucked in there, always handy, always worth having with you. And in the bottom, one 24-hour ration pack. Now that 24-hour ration pack, what I've done, I've broken down all the bags in it, and I've put back all the essentials. I'm not carrying things like the admin kit, I'm not carrying all the drinks. I'm carrying the food and the essentials, the carbohydrates, the energy, the requirement I need. And the great thing about a 24-hour ration pack, you can eke that out over 3 days if you needed to, possibly more. Again, it's going to give you a warm meal each day, plus some calories on top. Because as we've said in the past, that's designed, that kit, for a fighting man, burning huge amounts of calories, who's in peak condition over a 24-hour period. Okay? If you're in a survival situation, you're going to use as little energy as possible, okay, to get yourself through the situation, so you can reduce your calorie intake a little bit. Now, the idea being, it's going to give you enough to keep you going without carrying a huge amount, okay. So yes, you will be hungry, but you will get through the situation. first aid kit. As I said, it's a pull-off first aid kit, and it's quite an in-depth first aid kit. I also put extras in there like Siloons and another head torch. So I've got 2 head torches with me at all times. Okay, it's worth having. There's nothing worse than being lost and alone in the dark, or if you find yourself with a companion or a colleague lost and alone in the dark. So you can detach the system easily, but it remains secure when you want it. Okay, and again, it's just attached with a MOLLE system around the belt. This pouch here, fire lighting, so head torch in there as I said before. Spork also lives in there, because otherwise I lose it. Fire lighting kit, a basic fire lighting kit, all those little bits and pieces that you might need in an emergency in a tin. And then just as a go-to everyday use, Forest Fundamentals stealth fire lighting kit. I recommend that to anybody. It's worth having in your gear and your equipment. Works really, really well. It's a great source of light, it's a great source of ignition, and again, yeah, what can I say, it works. So that goes in that pouch. And as you see, first aid kit is designed to detach. Okay, in this pouch here, in this pouch here, just to add a bit of bulk and weight, I've got the Polymath survival tin. Okay, so again, I've got another cook system if I needed it. I've got a few supplies in there. I've got a little stove in there. I've got tea lights in there. Yeah, it's pretty much their survival tin. Okay, what I have done is I've modified it very, very slightly to suit my needs. There's always a couple of items in these kits that you look at and you go, do you know what, I'd never use that. Right, take it out if you're not going to use it, replace it with something else. So that also gives me another cook system. Okay, worth having. And again, as you see what I do, I use the elastics. Although that's a sealable top, the elastics just hold everything in place. Next to that, we've got Gary Go-Lock. Okay, so if you're working in a forest environment, it's a great tool. Okay, quite affordable to get. Okay, yeah, do the job for you. Got a little bit of deformation on that blade there because unfortunately I hit a stone earlier on, but that was my fault. Bad drills, Mikey. But what I'll do is I'll work that out with a stone later on and get the profile back on that. Next pouch there, like I say, is a sundries pouch. I'm not going to pull everything out of there. I've got things in there like drinks. I've got things in there like granola bars. I've got things in there like a little bar of chocolate, some chewing gum. I've got my spare nicotine pouches. I've got bits and pieces that you go to that you throw in your pockets on a normal everyday wander, walk or whatever. And it's in that pouch near the front, so it's easy to get to whenever I want something. Okay, I could put my spork in there. And then lastly, not least, water. Okay, so I've got a water bottle there. All right, filled and ready to go. And yeah, I need a brew. Let's get a brew on. So we've done a rough processing using the Go-Lock. What we're going to do, we're going to take that a little bit further now. So we want some finer material for lighting this fire, because we're just going to do a simple one log fire and be able to cook on it. So what I ideally want to do, that's external wood. Now I can see it's dry because it was from a standing dead pine that we took out, and we got the roots from. So the roots from that we grubbed out. We've got those to one side. We'll be doing a video on processing your own fat wood another day. But ideally what I want to look for here is not a piece from around the outside. I want a nice piece of the internal wood, like that, which is ideal. Process that down into some smaller sticks. So what we do is we look at the grain of the wood, look to make sure there's no knots in it. And just simply split it. Now, it comes away sometimes. I'm going to have to move this to the point of fire. So, I don't move logs, cut logs, then move them. I tend to drag the log to where I want it, then process it right by the fire pit. Makes life a lot easier. We come down, make some nice little sticks. Again, as you can see, you can pair them apart if you want to. So, let's get our fire processed and underway. So, as you can see, I've created a small area up here in the woods where I can have a ground fire. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to start by making a raft of timber. And this raft of timber, it's going to allow me to light a fire. It's going to allow the air to come up through, and as the embers fall back onto the pieces of wood underneath, it'll ignite them. Now you could keep going with this, build a fire up to here, create a tall fire and allow it to burn back by just stacking your timbers. But what I'm going to do today is just get a little fire going, make a brew. So I'll put my fat wood shavings on. So flatten out the end, separate the fibres, because the fibres are going to catch a spark. And using that finger, I just hold that up so that it's in front of the ferro rod, so I'm going to catch my sparks. Like that. Use it like a match. Set fire on the fat wood. The nice thing is, pull that down. That is out. What I have learnt, wind it all up together, just like that. Put it away. So, let's get a brew on. So what we'll do, As you see, bonus of a small stick fire. It burns quite quickly, creates a nice bed of embers, which we're going to use to boil our water. Take some of these sticks from around the sides, make the cooking area. Benny, got some caramel, mate. Caramel instant coffee, lovely, nice and sweet. Benny Bushcraft, he got me into that. Swine that he is, swine that he is. Got me into the luxury of caramel coffee in the woods. But again, that's what it's about. It's about making it nice and enjoyable. So, getting back to the subject, which is kit, carrying kit, having kit with you. So you'll see on the videos that I wear this a lot. Okay, so this basically is a simple, get this off. It's a simple kit. Okay, on here, emergency whistle. Okay, it also has a built-in fire striker. Okay, ferrocerium rod, and that's all it is. And that picked up quite cheap from, I think, Temu or Amazon. Also on there is a very small, simple LED light that I can operate in my mouth, so it keeps my hands free. And also on there, which I've had a couple of questions about, is a dog tag. Now that dog tag is there because it's got my name, my blood group, my military service number on it. Okay, and that way it gives an identifier. If something happened to me out here somewhere, or somebody found me unconscious, even seeing that it's a military dog tag with a military service number on, it can be checked on. My details can be found. More importantly, my blood group is on there. So if it's a case that they need to give me a transfusion or they need to give me blood, they know it's on there. I also keep in my wallet my blood donor card, because I am a donor, both blood and plasma. Right, so I keep that on me. It's an identifier as well. So we talk about kits. Around my neck I've got fire, whistle and light. Okay, good emergency kit that I can carry 24/7 absolutely everywhere with me. Then on my belt is always my Leatherman. Okay, unless I'm going into a structure or building that specifically says no, like a court or a school. Okay, so that I've always got with me a knife, and I've always got with me fire, I've always got with me emergency light, and invariably tucked away in a small pouch I have a small civvy style emergency tourniquet and a wound dressing. Okay, that's my everyday carry kit. That's what I've got on me, and it depends where I carry it and what I'm doing. All right, it's stuff that goes away discreetly in the pockets, and then you build up on your kit from that. So you build up into pouches, webbing, or a backpack. And I'm not knocking backpacks, that's my main usage. You haven't seen me much in the way of webbing, but I've got to thank another YouTuber for making me think of it. Pop over to his channel, Prepared Pathfinder, Tom. Right, this guy really knows his stuff. You want to see the military to civilian conversions and get a real good balance, yeah, go and see Tom, ex-Pathfinder, absolutely brilliant, really knows his stuff. And if he sees this, Tom, thank you very much for putting up your video. Made me think back on it. You know, we come away from stuff like webbing and think, ugh, never want to put that on again. But then, yeah, it does fit in this world and in this role, and could be civilianised. So again, if there's any companies out there, Polymath, anybody like that, maybe it's something you guys need to think about. Then on top of that, you obviously want what I call your improved kit. So rather than using this all the time, this is my emergency gear. I've got my go-to gear. So I've got things like, and because I make the videos, I carry lots of kits at home. But yeah, a simple thing like the Forest Fundamentals Stealth Fire Starter. That's one of my favourites at the moment. I'm thoroughly enjoying that. Or you can go with their Fatwood fire starter system, or you can go with anybody else's. There's many out there. Just get yourself a fire steel, okay? Cotton wool balls, whatever you want to practice. We've done lots of videos on it. Find the method that suits you. Find the method that you like and perfect it. Then move on to another method and another method and another method. Same with the carrying systems. If you've never carried webbing before, okay, put some pouches on a belt. Pop along to your local army surplus store, find that, go in and say to them, I watched a thing about yoke systems and webbing. What have you got? Can I try it on and see if it's something I might be interested in? Now, no army surplus shop anywhere is going to say no, because there's a chance of a sale. Try the UK one, try the American one if they've got it, try any of the other webbing systems out there. Find what suits you and modify it to suit yourself, because it is a good system, okay? It's a good way of carrying your kit and staying very, very active and keeping your gear with you. And as you see, I'm not wearing the kit now. The kit's stuck next to me. And you would do that in the field. For comfort, you might take the kit off. If I had to run, if I had to bomb burst out of here now, I would grab that and go, knowing that everything I need is in that kit. I can pretty much put it on in a run. Yeah. Now, webbing.
Right, guys, so the outro I filmed for that video, unfortunately GoPro had frozen again. I hadn't realised, got home, load everything up, and yeah, the outro's pants. So we're going to do an outro from home. Do apologise. So as you see, the Dutch Army packs up there, which works very nicely with webbing because it sits above it. That's all up there. We'll have a play with that over the next few months, modify it, see what we can come up with. I'm going to go and have a look on some of the other sites and see what's out there, see what I can get, see what I can build up. Guys, thank you for watching. Right, thank you for all your support. Big thank you to Benny Bushcraft. Yeah, that caramel coffee, mate. We'll keep that to ourselves. We don't want it selling out again. Sticks, absolutely love the stuff you've done, and yes, I'm going to take you up on the challenge. The speed tarp challenge. Yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to have a go, and I'm also going to nominate. I think Sam. I think we'll start nominating people. Sam, the speed tarp challenge. Let's see what you can do. I'll get mine up in the next few days, guys. Hope you've liked it. Hope you found it interesting. Yeah, it's just our video for today. Mac, unfortunately, is a little bit unwell, but he will be back with us next week. Guys, like, subscribe, share. Love those you do, forgive those you don't. And as always, peace and light be upon you all. Have an awesome week wherever you are. Until we meet again, Mickey out.